Hello, Ray Phoenix here. Welcome to Let's Play Ratchet and Clank Free Up Your Arsenal Part 15. We're going to the Zeldrin Starport now, where we're going to be meeting up with Captain Quark at the Zeldrin Starport. We're going to find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy with all the robots. They're all Dr. Nefarious' greatest robots that protect his very special places are all present in this starport, and they're all heavily armed, and they have heavier armor now. Good thing we have the Annihilator with us. The Annihilator probably is the greatest weapon, or one of the greatest weapons in this game. So it's going to be our default weapon for pretty much the remainder of this game. There's a fork in the road at this part where we could go the longer way, or we could go see Quark right now, but we're not going to do that yet. We're going to go the longer way. There's a substantial reward for anyone that survives the longer path, and oh boy, is this going to be some major bloodbath. We're already greeted by swarms of enemies. We're just killing off a few of them. Look, I already killed a few of them. We're already like a tenth of the way to getting another upgrade for our Annihilator. Like, more are going to come in, and there, look at that. This upgrade's really fast. I guess that's good. It's like the developers knew this was good. This is like the greatest weapon in the game, so just blasting a few of them down gives you upgrades to your weapon. And we just killed that Darth Maul guy, those Darth Maul robot things, with just using our Omni Wrench. How pathetic. They're supposed to be some of the strongest enemies in this game, and yet the Omni Wrench just destroys them like they're nothing. I'm constantly getting bombarded by all these enemies. I don't really have enough bullets left in my weapons. That's my lava cannon, lava gun, which isn't really useful here because it's not well upgraded against these robot things, these robot assassin thug things, or whatever we're supposed to be calling these things. So this place is supposedly a starport. I guess that's why there's a lot of ships parked around everywhere. There's supposed to be a starport. It almost sounds like something they're going to be adding to computers eventually. The starport. There's a USB port. There's the mic, there's a USB Type-C port, there's the headphone jack, and now there's going to be the star port. I wonder what that's going to do. Probably going to work with some kind of technology that doesn't exist yet. And okay, so we're almost upgraded as well too. Our Annihilator is nearly upgraded. I also keep seeming to forget the flux rifle exists too. I wish I could use a flux, but the flux rifle can't really lock on as well. And look at this, you have to be like Han Solo in the Death Star now. It's like that scene from LEGO Star Wars: The Complete Saga, where you come across those swarms of stormtroopers, and it's like, you're gonna get killed. Yeah, but in LEGO Star Wars: The Complete Saga, you get killed, just rematerialize from where you were killed. That doesn't happen in this game. We get checkpoints in this game. Yeah, I remember back in the days when video games were actually challenging and they actually had checkpoints that you had to start from when you got killed. You don't just simply respawn from where you got killed. Oh, those were the good old days of gaming. If only modern games could bring back challenges like this. They kind of did with Mega Man 11. That is, if you could call Mega Man 11 a modern game. I just beat that game last week. And yeah, it's very challenging. But it's not necessarily more challenging than the actual games in the classic Mega Man. Well, I mean, they're classic Mega Man games. And that's like the newest game I've ever played. I wonder how many people consider that to be retro. And there's a lot of kids that consider movies that came out 5 years ago to be retro, vintage movies. And then there's people say, nah, movies that were made in the 1940s are retro. I remember contesting that one time in some class where they asked, like, oh, what do you like more, old movies or new movies? I'm like, define old movies, define new movies. I guess you could say I generally prefer old movies because, well, you know, old movies had some sort of charm to them, which is something a lot of newer movies don't seem to have. It's a certain kind of charm, a certain ethereal feeling that some people get from watching like this aesthetics of certain movies. And I was trying to get that aesthetic more too, that mysterious, spooky aesthetic as well too, from when I use Linux at nighttime, specifically the user in the, what is it called, the command line only version of Linux. Imagine that, like using that on your computer at nighttime when there's a storm outside, a computer screen that only uses text. It almost reminds me a bit of the beginning of Jurassic Park or something like that. There's those guys in the computer room, they hear a storm is coming, and ends up devastating Jurassic Park. Yeah, it's still a classic, good old classic Jurassic Park. I read the book of that some time ago too, and the book had computer stuff too. It even showed the computer screens in the book. And it's just a text-only novel as well too, a text-only prose novel. They put that in there. That's quite impressive for, you know, a book. Yeah, that's just a book. A lot of people don't seem to like books these days. I tell people on Discord that I write books, and like, yeah, that's just a book. Can you actually draw? Yeah, because those kids don't always like reading anymore. A lot of kids don't seem to like reading anymore. There's supposedly mangas of Ratchet and Clank that are out there that may have only come out in Japan, but I wouldn't know because I never read them. Because I don't live in Japan, at least not yet. There we go, this is the reward that we were after. This is the one thing that's eluded me since the beginning of this game that I've really wanted. The greatest reward in the entire game, the Bolt Grabber. What does it do? Well, we're about to demonstrate that in a second. What does that do? Just jump like that, and look, it destroys pretty much everything in the known vicinity of where you are, and then some. And it's gonna give you everything. It's gonna make every single bolt that could possibly be obtained get obtained. So then that way you're gonna end up with a much larger income. Your income just suddenly skyrocketed. Look, when we began this video, I only had like a little over 10,000 bolts. I now have 86,000 bolts. I've gained so many bolts and counting. This is the part where Quark is going to be fighting with Scrunch, and he's going to be Scrunch just ticked off that Quark did something to Scrunch's sister. Like, how did I know she was your sister? It was mating season. Yeah, it's official. Captain Quark does weird stuff with monkeys. I bet Ratchet's even more weird out too, considering the fact that he's a frickin' ape in this game. The ape from Ape Escape, yeah. Wonder if Captain Quark ever met Spectre. Wonder what kind of interaction they would have. Captain Quark meeting Spectre. Is he gonna treat Spectre the same way he treated Scrunch's sister? Oh yeah, that's a crossover that I never realized before that we needed. We need that crossover right now. Ape Escape and Ratchet and Clank. I don't want to hear any more excuses. It's Ape Escape and Ratchet and Clank crossover. We haven't had one in since Ratchet Deadlocked or since Ape Escape 3, and those games came out 20 plus years ago now. So Captain Quark took us to Dr. Nefarious's flagship. I guess this is his flagship. Whatever kind of ship would it be? And there's definitely nothing wrong with Clank. We know Clank is perfectly fine. He always does that thing where his eyes go red. He's probably, doing something questionable again, or something that used to be illegal maybe, or some questionable act, and now he's probably why his eyes are red like that. And we're now in Nefarious' flagship. Now I'm gonna finally put the flux rifle to use. There we go. I feel like I'm in Iraq or something like that. Just taking out the sniper rifle and killing off those bad guys they would have killed. There we go. We killed all of those baddies, those bad guy things, whatever you want to call those things, those Dr. Nefarious robots. The flux rifle makes short work of them. It would be a lot better if it had more ammo, and if it could, lock on. That's gonna jump and flash, and look at all these bolts I'm getting. So I'm getting tons and tons of bolts in this game. Look at that. It's like the game's giving me free bolts pretty much. It's like free money. This is what living on disability must be like, where people get free money every month from the government. Yay! Free money! What's better than free money? That's essentially what it's like, just running through here. You're like becoming a corporate executive all of a sudden, where you do so little work and yet you get so much reward, so much pay. That's more than enough to pay your mortgages, more than enough to pay your car insurance every month, and more than enough to make up for all those phony calls you've made over the past. Those phony calls to 911 that someone may have made over the fine. That's more than enough to pay the fines for any of those illegal activities. We could be rich. 89,000. Whoa, that's a lot more too. Ooh, how do we get up here? This elevator doesn't seem to work sometimes. You have to do the clank thing. I know there's a jetpack clank as well too, but I don't like using that one as much. I like the propeller one, the heli propeller one a bit more. I'll be running around these guys and shooting my annihilator at them. Really getting this weapon's really getting a workout. It really is, making itself the greatest weapon in the game. Pretty sure every time I do that thing where I jump and ground pound pretty much results in me getting more than 1,000 bolts. If I did that 1,000 times, I'd be a bolt millionaire. Or I am going to be a bolt millionaire eventually. Let's keep, okay, I got 2,000 bolts for that one. It's impressive. There's Gadgetron boxes there too to get me some more ammo. Just jump and slash. I love it. I'm just really cleaning out this place of all the different bolts. Yeah, there's still a lot of weapons in this game I haven't bought yet. The only way you can buy them is with bolts. And where are you going to get bolts? Well, by doing what I'm doing right now. That's the only way you're going to ever get any real money in this game, is by using the bolt grabber. You see why the bolt grabber is in the greatest gadget. It probably is the greatest gadget in the game. There we go, we're finally meeting with Lawrence, and of course he's gonna show us to Dr. Nefarious. And this is what we've been waiting for since the game began. This is why we took Captain Quark out of 4 on it, just so we could do this, so we could bring Captain Quark to Dr. Nefarious, so we could defeat Dr. Nefarious and save the galaxy. Or just listen to soap operas the entire time. The choice is really his. I'm just gonna slap him in the face until he starts to go like, Quark! He's just gonna go on about his plans some more, and Captain Quark is gonna try to take heroic battle with Dr. Nefarious, which is what he's supposed to do. And oh look, I think he activated the self-destruct button or something, a self-destruct thing. He's probably gonna escape like what all the great villains do, but he leaves the heroes stranded only to escape themselves. Or I think only Lawrence has a way to escape, and Dr. Nefarious is left stuck. Okay, she didn't forget Nefarious. If only they could have left Nefarious behind him and have Lawrence escape. Lawrence never really did much evil stuff, other than be the butler for an insane mastermind. Other than that, Lawrence never really did anything. Bad. We have 1 minute to escape from this place. This is like that level in Disruptor where you're at that colony resort thing and you have to escape it in like less than a minute. You have to shut off the valves, which extend the time. Oh yeah, I remember doing that in Disruptor, Insomniac Games' first game, and one of their best games too that no one ever seems to talk about. And there's still bolts to be grabbed, yeah, nabbing bolts, and there's still these Darth Maul ninjas everywhere, just go blasting around. See, there's drop ships they have there. I guess this is like some sort of depot where they keep the drop ships. We almost have 60 health. It's like a sliver away from that. There, we made it back to our ship. Just gonna be waiting for Captain Quark. He said he was gonna go and get something. He's not coming out. Now we realize that we don't have a choice. We just have to get out of here now. Who cares about Captain Quark? Which, no one really cares about Captain Quark. I'm surprised Ratchet still has some kind of, after considering what Captain Quark has done in the past, I'm surprised Ratchet still has any kind of empathy for him. He doesn't deserve empathy. And now that flagship's gonna crash on Zeldrin. I think the planet below is planet Zeldrin, and we're gonna go head back to the Starship Phoenix. It's gonna take us there where we're gonna have the funeral for Captain Quark, because he supposedly just died. He never came back with us. So that naturally means he's dead, and there's nothing more we could do, and Captain Quark is well buried 6 feet under on Zeldrin right now. It's gonna say, oh, sorry to hear about Quark. We're gonna pay our respects to the galaxy's greatest hero. Galaxy's greatest hero? That'd be me, right? No, it's Captain Quark. It's obviously Captain Quark. He's the greatest hero in the galaxy. Maybe in this galaxy, being a hero just simply means you can sit back, lie back, and do absolutely nothing and get away with it. There's nothing more American than doing that very thing. Everyone's like sobbing, telling their sob stories about how sad it is that Captain Quark is dead. And Elga's like, oh, that's Captain Quark. I tried to brew him up into being this green hero, and now he's gone. I'm trying to say something nice. Well, here's the perfect eulogy. If you have nothing nice to say about someone or something, you don't say anything at all. That perfectly describes Captain Quark. Or Ratchet probably truly thinks of Captain Quark for that matter. Everyone's trying to watch him make lame attempts at making speeches. They're not just going off on him talking about the trauma he suffered in Vietnam. And even the president has a message about this too. And the president speaking about how Captain Quark was such a great guy, just like how he was a great president that never cheated on his wife and never got impeached. We see Clank's eyes are going red again. That's perfectly normal for a time like this, to have red eyes. Just going on saying more stuff about, I think he was saying something like Metropolis is under attack. Well, we actually don't know much about Metropolis, but we'll know more about it in the next Quark vid comic that Al just gave us. Quark Comic Episode 4, proudly filmed on Metropolis in front of a live studio audience. Ray Phoenix, signing out.